Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today as I continue to take on the challenge of building a massive 32-inch model railroad turntable from scratch. Can I pull it off? Stick around as we find out together, right here on So on this channel, I generally don't do a lot of historical dialogue, primarily because that's not the main focus of this channel. But this time I thought I'd do something just a little bit different. So the history of the train turntable dates back to 1830, believe it or not, when they were first used to redirect locomotives. These early turntables were manually operated and were essential for steam locomotives, which could kind of only go in one direction at that time. Over the years, turntables became less common with the introduction of diesel locomotives, which could operate in both directions. Believe it or not, they're still used today, particularly in railroad museums and tourism. So that's my little spiel. And now we're going to just jump right into all the things that I've done on this piece, what's next, and then I'll give you a nice little surprise toward the end of the video. So first off, let's talk about this big scrap of metal I've got toward the back of the shot here. That is all of the metal that I had to cut off with these metal shears right here. And let me tell you something, that was a pain in the pasta. Ideally, all of that metal kind of came off of these long edges here on both sides, right? And no matter how much I measured, double and triple checked, it still left me with that big pile of metal in the back. So my advice, if you plan on building something like this, I would say put all of the pieces down, glue them down first. Then you can get a hard line as to where the metal is supposed to cut. That way you're only cutting once. So take that little tidbit and file it away somewhere and use it for the future. Next up, I used that, it used to be a much bigger pile of wood there. And I put those pieces along the bottom, all the way across. And I also glued them on the sides, on both sides. So it kind of gives this whole turntable a really finished look. I'm really proud of how that came out. Let me zoom in a bit so you can kind of see what that looks like. But I'm really proud of, you know, the finished look. I think it really looks nice. I have all of the tools I used to accomplish this. These little needle nose clippers there, the metal shears, these came in. I had to actually go out and buy another pair because the ones I had, it was kind of old and was giving me really, really jagged edges. So I went out and purchased a brand new one and it zipped through that stuff with no problem. Lastly, I've got these little small clamps. I've got about 6 of them and they really helped with this glue. This is some really good wood glue. I'm not a brand person on this channel, but I haven't had one problem out of this Titebond original wood glue. One bit, it really does a good job. So what's next? Well, as you can see, I only have the nail holes just on this side. So I'll probably reproduce all the nail holes all along this side. And then I will begin 3D printing a lot of the separately applied attributes, which will go all along the side. It'll be like railings, This side over here, I really plan to have a ladder that will go down into the pit. So you'll begin to see a lot of those items show up probably the next time I give an update on this project. So I wanted to let you in on a little secret here. I'm actually keeping a file of all the 3D printings that I have for this project. And I'm just gonna keep it in a nice little file. And I think I'll eventually, at the end of the project, save it and make it available to all of my subscribers. So how about that? You'll be able to build this exact project without all the mistakes and with some really good 3D files that you can print out yourself, providing that you have a 3D printer. So until next time, enjoy those layouts.